Hey guys, welcome to Math Outside the Classroom. Today we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions. So, let's take a look at our schedule. First, we're going to be talking about our learning target. Second, we're going to be looking at our key vocabulary. And then we're going to actually look at how fractions are equal. How are fractions equal? Then we're going to give you some problems to do at home. And last, we'll end with the joke of the day. So, let's take a look over here at our learning target. We have two of them for today, and the first one says, I can find two or more fractions that are equivalent. We'll find out what equivalent actually means. I can order fractions from biggest to smallest. So we want to be able to find out which one is bigger and which one is smaller and put them in order, just like we do words in alphabetical order. Okay? Let's take a look at our key vocabulary. Here's the big important one for the day, and it is equivalent fractions. Okay, equivalent fractions. These are fractions that are the same. That means they're exactly the same. So we might have a fraction that is 1 over 2. An equivalent fraction to 1 over 2 would be 2 over 4. And we'll talk about how we found that out. Okay? And we have, for our next word, greater than. Greater than. This is something we've talked about already. Something that is bigger than something else. Okay? My muscles are greater than Miss Heather's muscles.
Are you sure?
Oof. Then we have less than. Less than. Something that is smaller than something else. And we have to remember, especially when we're ordering fractions, what is greater than and what is less than. So make sure you write down all these key vocabulary words. Okay guys, there are a couple ways to find out if fractions are equivalent, or you hear the word in there, equal, or equivalent. If you want to find out if fractions are equal, there are a couple different ways. The first way, I think, is a little bit more difficult, but if you are a more visual person, this might work for you. So if we take a look here, we can draw actually rectangles to help us out. I have drawn 1/2, and if I want 1/2, I would have to color in, oops, wrong color, sorry guys. I'd have to color in 1 out of 2, okay? I'd have to color in 1 out of 2 to make this true. This is now 1/2 because the denominator is 2, there are 2 pieces, and there is 1 colored in. So now I want to find out, well, what is equal to 1/2 that has a denominator of 4. So we split this up into 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. How could I make that into an equal fraction for this? Well, I'd have to color in some squares. And if I color in 1, that's 1, and I look, is that equal size? No, not equal. Let's color in the second one. And look at that. I have 2 pieces that are colored in, and now I have half of it on each side. So that is 1, 2. So my numerator would be 2 over 4. 2 over 4 is equal to 1/2. That is correct. Okay? So these are equal parts. This is half of it. This is half of it. Alright? Let's do the same thing down here. We could make another rectangle. And I've already drawn them out. If I want 1 out of 4, we know that I have to color in 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now let's go over to the 8. Oh, this is cut into 8 different pieces. Let's count and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our denominator is 8. Okay, so we need to color in 1/4 of this. So we need to find, I can see that is 1 here. Okay, still not quite as big. But if I color in another one, then we have the same size piece. So again, 1, 2. This is 2/8. 1/4 is equal to 2/8. Okay. Now the problem with this is you have to draw very straight lines and you have to measure it. There's a really cool trick that both Miss Heather and I just learned to doing this, and it's called cross multiplication. So what we need to do, if you're really good at multiplication, this will be super easy for you. Some of you might need to use a calculator, which is okay when we're figuring out these fractions. We want to do cross multiplication. Well, we need to do it in the correct order. What we want to do is we want to take the bottom number of our second fraction, and we want to multiply it by this number, the top number of our second fraction. 4 times 6 equals 24. And we bring it and leave it up here. It has to come to the top. We go this way. Then, you guessed it, we take the second number right here. And we do the same thing. We cross. Now you guys can see why we cross multiply. It makes a cross or an X. We multiply 8 times 3. And 8 times 3 equals what? You guessed it, 24. So, if these two numbers are equal, that means the fraction is actually equal as well. So 6/8 is equal to 3/4. Okay? Let's try another one. We know, let's say 1/2 and 2/4 are equal. We know that already because we did it here. But let's use cross multiplication to check our work. So we have 4, and we want to go all the way across. We multiply 4 times 1, and we get a 4. Then we multiply 2, oh, you're getting it already, 2 times 2, and we know we get 4. So if these two are equivalent or equal, that means our fraction is equal. So 1/2 is equal to 2/4. Now we've done that in two different ways. Oof, that's easy. Now, let's take a look. It's a little bit more difficult multiplication, and this would take a little while to find out, especially if we're drawing lines like this. So let's use cross multiplication. So we want to go to our second number, our second denominator. We want to go across the aisle to cross it. So 7 times 9 equals 63. Okay. Then we have to take our next number. We say 12 and 3. We cross multiply. 12 and 3. 12 times 3 equals 36. Which number is larger? Well, this number is larger. That means we use our greater than symbol here. So this fraction is actually greater than this fraction by quite a bit. Okay? And this works for every single fraction. So if you want to tell which ones are equal, which ones are greater than, or which ones are equal to, using cross multiplication is the quickest and most accurate way to do it. This is also another way you can do it, and there are quite a few ways that we can find equivalent fractions and compare fractions. But I think that's the easiest and the best way. After this, I'm going to give you a couple problems to do on your own.
1, 2, 3, like a bird I sing, 'cause you've given me the most beautiful set of wings.
Okay guys, for our homework tonight, and on your notes page, inside that circle, or inside that box, where it says put your math sentences here, this is what I want you to do. You're going to find equivalent fractions for each of these. So if you take a look down here, number 1 will be, you want to find an equivalent fraction to 1/2. Number 2, you want to find an equivalent fraction to 3/4. Number 3, you want to find one to 6/10. And number 4, you're going to want to find one to 9/27. Okay? So they're going to be easy, getting harder each time. Alright, I'll give you an example of how we want to do this. So if we have 6/8 and we want to find something that is equivalent to it, the best way to find an equivalent fraction if you don't have your second one is to divide it by a number that they both can be divided by. So an easy one that this can be divided by is 2. So if I divide this by 2, I will get 3. If I divide this by 8 or 2 as well, I will get 4. Okay? So 3/4 would be an equivalent fraction for that. I can also take these and multiply them by 2. And I get 12 over 16. Okay? Those would be two easy ways that we can always do it. We can multiply them or divide them. And you can check your work using cross multiplication. So let's see, 3/4. I'd go this number times this number equals 24. This number times this number equals 24. Yes, these two numbers are the same, so they are equivalent. Okay? Now I want you to do all of these problems just like I just did it for your homework. Okay? That will help you complete your notes.
Dancing when the stars go blue, dancing when the evening.
Our word of the day today is cross multiplication. Please write that somewhere in your notes so I know that you watched the video. And our joke of the day is another chicken joke. Why do chickens hate school? Well, chickens hate school because there are too many examinations.
It was Labor Day weekend, I was 17. I bought a Coke and some gas.